Hello everyone. This is Cody giving you game 3 in a best of 3 series between Evil Genius's Idra and Empire's Happy here on Tal'Darim Altar. Starting to lose my voice, gonna try to cut back just a little bit more and get through this game and get through this best of 3 series with you. We have Idra spawning as the green Zerg on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Happy, the dirty yellow Terran on the top left hand side of Tal'Darim Altar. And Tal'Darim Altar, a very large macro map. And we'll see what comes of it and what these players will try to go for. Now, you can try to do some early harassment here on Tal'Darim Altar. This version of Tal'Darim Altar is the GSL version, so there are no rocks here, but only a Vespene Geyser, one Vespene Geyser, and only 6 mineral patches, so it's not going to be that full 8 that most players are accustomed to. And we'll see what's really going to happen here. Also, this area is still untraversable, even though it looks like you could stand there or walk there for with a Reaper or some other unit. I believe it still is untraversable there, so that's always very important to note. They did not change any of the elements other than that. Also, one final thing, there is no way that Reapers or any other walking unit can come up and down the backside here. There looks like to be a shark in the water there, so never noticed that, but yes, there is that there. Now, as this game... I wonder, did they fix this? Alright. Anyways, getting into it, you can see that there are just some drones mining away. It looks like Idra will be going for that fast hatchery here. Meanwhile, over here, we are going to see Happy opening up with a barracks on the front door. This is more of a cautionary measure. He wants to make sure that Idra doesn't try to 7-pool him. He does need to do a little bit of scouting and make sure that there is not a 7-pool, as a lot of the times Zerg players may try to 7-pool or 6-pool if they expect their opponent to open up with a very, very fast command center or nexus. It happens mainly against other Protoss players, as it is just a lot of the metagame here. SCV scouting in the wrong direction now. It had first scouted in the bottom left-hand side, now going to scout the top right-hand side. Still find that his opponent is not there, and then continue along his merry way as a Marine starts the trek across the map, and he's quickly going to realize that there is nothing happening here as well, and now both the Marine and the SCV are going to be pushing into this location. Idra, very known for his very strong macro play, so that is the reason why the SCVs have only been checking out the natural expansions and haven't even really been pushing any further. Meanwhile, Idra now has up one spawning pool and now just got his extractor, so it will be a little bit of time before the metabolic boost is completed. SCV now comes over just in time to see that the hatchery has been completed. It can try to make a bunker, but it's not going to really be that helpful at all, as one drone has slipped by. It looks like a fresh Marine is being trained, and that drone is not going to have anywhere to go. Going to try to sneak through, unable to do so. And now that drone just going to get taken down. We are going to see the supply depot now lower. We are going into a factory here. The second refinery is already up, so we may be going into a starport. As soon as if we get a starport, we may perhaps be going into Banshees now. It looks like a Hellion will first be trained. As soon as that Hellion is done, a tech lab should be added on the factory, as the Hellion does a little bit of scouting. SCV has returned home. The Marines are now, I believe, just on patrol, making sure that no overlords are going to be able to suicide their way in and get a little bit of scouting information at all. Hellion now completed. It looks like the Hellion is going to make its way out as that tech lab now being added, as I mentioned just moments ago. The starport, very fast build time, so training up that Hellion and then adding on that tech lab, you can do a bit of a swap with the starport. Will be stuck in the air for just a little while, as we now see Zerglings trying to test that front door location. However, there are Marines ready to be able to fend off that attack there. One Hellion now out and about as well. It looks like it will be able to scout out and get some damage onto those Zerglings, as Cloak now being researched, and now also adding a Viking first. So this is a rather unusual opening, researching Cloak and now getting a Viking first. But that first Viking is going to perhaps be able to destroy an Overlord or two, as a lot of Zerg players really go for very, very heavy Overlord spread in order to make sure that there are no scouts, no scouting, or deny as much scouting as possible. Banshee now in the air, or no, sorry, a Viking now in the air. A Banshee now being constructed back at the starport. It looks like this one Overlord is going to slowly push his way in. I believe this one Marine, oh, he is no longer on patrol, and it looks like it is just going to be hiding off over here, and Happy is going to reveal his command center to his opponent. We are going to see a Viking and a Hellion making his rounds now. There is an Overlord off here. There's an Overlord. No Overlords here, so it is not going to be able to do that much Overlord hunting, which is very, very important. You can see that the Overlord has spotted the command center. The Marines are being forced to pull back here, and this early Viking, hasn't done nearly as much damage as it would like to so far. You can see that there is a Queen over here at the expansion, or at the main base as well. Teching the tier 2 has just been completed. A Banshee is now out and moving across the map. It looks like Zerglings are running away, knowing that the Banshees are already in the air, and Happy, probably just really, really sad that he hasn't gotten any Overlord kills at all. He invested a lot into getting that Viking earlier, and that Viking hasn't done any real damage as of yet. There are 2 Queens here. The Queens are going to be able to shut it down. Are we going to get some cloaks? Yes, the cloak is now completed, but just in time. In comes an Overseer, and the Overseer able to reveal that. That is going to be very, very devastating there, as the Hellion getting destroyed, and Idra now taking a very, very nice lead at this stage in the game. You can see that one Overlord finally shot down, but that really didn't stop much, as Idra now sitting at 65 food compared to 47. Happy now looking to perhaps transition into a different strategy. He does have a lot of barracks. He's currently getting siege tech as well, and getting a lot of Marines and medevacs. So it looks like he's going to be moving into the meta game, or the standard meta game, with Marines, stim pack, and siege tanks. We'll see whether or not those banelings will be coming in as the Zergling quickly gets destroyed. Command center going to land off over here, establishing his expansion at the 9-minute mark. Meanwhile, we can see Idra already establishing his expansion here as well. The Banshee will come across this and now try to shut it down, but it doesn't look like it will be that successful at all, as most likely he knows that there is a Banshee coming in along that backside. The Overseer already in position. The additional eyes able to see that one Banshee, and the Banshee now finally pulling back. There is a Spore Crawler in position as well, and now that Baneling's nest is in fact up, so those Zerglings will be morphing into Banelings to try to destroy these Marines. Things are not looking good for Happy at all. Idra at this stage can easily macro up. This is once again the power of the Zerg. You're going to see how quickly Idra is going to be able to get up a lot of drones in just a moment. He's already at 55 drones compared to 38. He's now setting up a macro hatch over here as well. It looks kind of strange, but yes, there is in fact creep on this one sundial looking Tal'Darim altar Protoss relic, as we now see Mutalisk flying straight in. Marines are nearby, but they were just on a coffee break, unable to really push back those Mutalisks. It looks like a couple of those Mutalisks were able to get some quick kills. One missile turret now being completed. Another missile turret perhaps down over here, hiding in the forest, and very difficult for those Mutalisks to spot it. These Mutalisks will not be able to get that much additional harassment kills. There's also a missile turret here and here as well at the corners of the mineral line, so these Mutalisks will just be forced to return home. Now, Harvester count 61 compared to 41. The third base is up and running. A Banshee has gotten a decent number of kills so far. So far, 9 worker kills. So Idra is getting a little, getting slowed down just by a little bit, but Idra still looks very comfortable. He doesn't feel, it looks like he's just still responding. He still has a decent map control with these Zelnaga towers, able to see very far out, but there are a lot of Marines and siege tanks here. So those Marines and those siege tanks, if they are going to be able to set up in a very, very strong forward position, they should be able to fight off the Banelings, and then the Marines should be able to fight off those Mutalisks. It looks like level 1 weapons upgrade has just started, as the front door of raising and lowering walls about to be completed. And the Mutalisks now trying to fly in once again. It doesn't look like they'll be that successful. They're going to run in straight into another missile turret here. The missile turret, only one of them. SCV is trying to come over to repair it, unable to do so, and now having free reign on the bottom left-hand side here. You can see that the Zerglings were trying to test that front door, as a very large number of Marines, siege tanks, and medevac are on the move. The Mutalisk now just going after this, and if it's able to shut down the engineering bay, that is going to be a very, very bad day. The engineering bay already taking a lot of damage so far, as the second command center now going to get destroyed over here. What Marines and siege tanks also pushing out as well. Happy is now just losing his supply depots and may end up being supply blocked in just a moment. The engineering bay has been researching for so long, And now that level 1 weapons upgrade has been cancelled, hitting the reset button there. Those Mutalisks completely going unanswered. The missile turrets just close enough there. Perhaps the missile turrets should have been built a little bit closer together, as these Mutalisks are still causing a lot of harassment. Meanwhile, back on the other side of the map, some Marines, siege tanks are now pushing out over here. There's a large number of Mutalisks, Zerglings, and Banelings in that position as well. And the Banelings are going to be able to hatch out in just a moment. One Mutalisk gets destroyed. Another Mutalisk, Mutalisk and Zerglings are now trying to swarm in. Banelings getting focused down by those siege tanks. And it looks like the Marines are going to be trying to focus down the rest of those Mutalisks as those Mutalisks are being forced to pull back. It looks like Happy did not have enough siege tank depth. Only one siege tank left now, so that means another round of Zerglings and Banelings will essentially destroy this here. Mutalisk has been pushed back. These Marines able to fight back and able to take back that ground there, but now we can see that Happy is only running off of 2 bases as opposed to Idra's 4 now, but this hatchery looks like it will get destroyed as well. So this hatchery, hatchery gonna get destroyed here. There are a lot more Zerglings and Mutalisks hanging back over here. Banelings are now getting in position as well. Only one siege tank. That's gonna be very, very bad news as the Banelings, run into the Marines. Not quite sure what that was about. It's the Marines now running up onto the high ground. So very, very smart maneuver there by Happy, saving all of his Marines, as the Zerglings would not be able to get up there, nor would those Banelings. Idra still having a 60 food count difference as these Mutalisks are going to be flying in, perhaps running straight into this group. Mutalisks, one of them getting a little bit out of position as the Zerglings are now trying to swarm in once more. What will happen with these Marines? The Marines need a stim. They are going to fight back, but it looks like Idra just going to win with sheer numbers, shutting down all of those Marines there. Army composition 3675, 1875 gas versus 1450, 475. No, one additional command center now being rebuilt. But Happy is essentially already so far behind. There's not really much he can do to get back into this game, especially with Idra still up in the air with those Mutalisks, causing so much harassment, shutting down mining, slowing down mining, and really Happy needs to be able to be aggressive and take down these Mutalisks. If those Mutalisks were just simply not if the Mutalisks were somewhere else, perhaps he could be able to establish this expansion here, or even this expansion on the low ground, and just try to mine it with mules. Zerglings and Banelings are in the center. Production, we see 22 Zerglings, level 2 weapons upgrade, and level 2 claw attack upgrades for those Zerglings. So this is just a Bling Mutaling here on Tal'Darim altar. Banelings, Mutalisks, and Zerglings. No crackling upgrade though, as those siege tanks look to perhaps move out. It looks like they're going to be trying to move out once again. Happy trying to make something happen, as he knows that he needs to take this natural expansion location. The Mutalisks, however, are going to fly in and catch this command center with the Marines. The Marines are going to get able to get some damage here. Double missile turrets. So double missile turrets. Will they be able to repair the missile turrets in time? No. And now Idra going to simply run over the main starting location once again. So Happy just not being able to defend against all of this harassment. There are going to be a lot of missile turrets here. Are the Mutalisks perhaps going to get stuck on the far side of the map? The missile turrets look like they will be completing. Marines are now going to be completing and making their way over as well. So Happy able to establish up this skeleton of a third base. And now there are Marines over here as well. The Marines are still not upgraded at all. 0 upgraded upgrade Marines. And that is the issue, as now the Zergling swarm is once again on the move. So many Zerglings just moving across the field. 6 full or 5 full control groups. Plus all of these Zerglings, and the Zerglings will now simply be moving in, and you can see that one siege tank trying to fight back the planetary fortress, and now Mutalisks or the Marines now trying to fight back over here. It looks like the Mutalisks are going to try to fly in as well. The Marines fighting against this large swarm here. There are enough missile turrets, and I believe Idra was just kind of throwing this away. His large economic army, which had such a large advantage, getting absolutely destroyed. Will these missile turrets be able to get off a little bit more shots? Yes, able to get off 1, perhaps 2 more kills there, as the SCVs were able to repair. And Happy got the break that he needed, at least just for a little while. But we are getting more Mutalisks and more Zerglings as well. 75 Zerglings, 75 Zerglings, 14 more, 5 more Mutalisks being trained up. We'll see what will be happening here. There is still a 70 food difference, but that was more Idra making a very, very miscalculated misstep, as opposed to Happy taking back the game there. So a very economical battle there by Happy, Happy, perhaps very, very happy with that exchange, and now happy with another exchange here as the Marines going to try to destroy more of these Mutalisks. Another missile turret trying to be reestablished. Marines able to shoo that away once more. 2 missile turrets, and this is when autosec tracking or perhaps the autosec tracking or the armor upgrades would be very beneficial, and the missile turrets do not have any of those upgrades at all, as those Mutalisks have been able to swarm in pretty consistently. Idra now expanding into this location and down over here as well. Idra will be running off of 6 hatcheries in just a moment, and really up 200 food army every engagement. He'll be able to just replenish all of his forces rather quickly. Now sitting at 197 as Banelings and Zerglings getting destroyed over here. 24 Banelings now being morphed. We are getting into that Greater Spire level 3 Zerg melee attack. I don't see the crackling upgrades just quite yet, as the Mutalisks are being forced to pull back all the way back to creep. But fighting on creep is going to be very dangerous, as Idra now coming in from behind. Banelings are getting just absolutely splattered. We are going to get a little bit of a flank here. There are not that many Marines, and there's the GG, with the rest left over of these Mutalisks to finish up the center of the map. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3 series where Idra lost game 1, even though he was ahead for a little while, and then coming back for game 2 and game 3. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.